Grace Alden always believed that sacred places were the safest. She grew up wrapped inside church walls, her childhood cadence a constant echo of hymns and whispered prayers. Her father preached hope every Sunday morning while she sat with hands folded, haloed by stained glass light. No one ever questioned why she rarely spoke in class or why her mother never showed up at any school events. The world saw a quiet, good girl destined for devotion. They didn't see the bruises. They didn't hear the yelling. They didn't feel how much fear can live inside a holy home. Grace learned early that silence kept her alive. By 23, she had escaped that house and replaced faith with psychology textbooks. Her goal? Study broken minds so she could understand her own. She moved into a small apartment near campus, decorated with plants and thrifted angel statues she thought looked more protective than religious. Life seemed almost normal. Almost. One November night, Grace returned home after a late library shift. The hallway light flickered like a candle in the wind. She jingled her keys, finally unlocking the heavy wooden door. The moment she stepped inside, a sharp chill seized her spine. The air felt stale, the silence too thick, like someone was still in the room and trying very hard not to breathe. She brushed the shiver away. Stress did strange things. Grace kicked off her shoes and dropped her backpack on the couch. She noticed a single object lying on the floor, a folded piece of paper. She unlocked it. 3 words, written in an ink she recognized from childhood. I see you. She froze. Her heart punched against her ribs. The handwriting, it felt wrong to even remember. Her father had used the same stiff lettering every time he left a note on her door. Get up. Fix yourself. God is watching. Grace spun around, clutching the paper like a threat. She checked the windows. Locked. She yanked open her closet. Empty. She called building security. No answer. Her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. You thought running from God would save you? She didn't sleep that night. For a week, things escalated. Notes appeared inside drawers she had taped shut. Her bedroom furniture rearranged itself while she showered. A low humming echoed from the walls, like hidden whispers trying to crawl out. Grace still tried to reason her way through everything. Maybe she was under too much stress. Maybe exhaustion triggered hallucinations. She wrote herself reminders. Nothing supernatural is real. She kept her music loud. She still went to class. Then she began seeing shadows shaped like people. They vanished when she blinked. Her hands trembled through every lecture. Her grades slipped. She stopped leaving home after dusk. Deep inside, she felt something watching her. Then came the night she found the feathers. They covered her bed in a perfect circle. White feathers, each one pointed inward like arrows. At the center sat another note. Confess and be forgiven. Her stomach twisted with nausea. She grabbed her phone and dialed 911. The line connected, but before she could speak, the operator replied, Grace. The voice was her father's. She slammed the phone down, so hard-cracked. Tears blurred her vision. She couldn't breathe. She needed help. She ran to the one friend she still trusted, Professor Elena Ward, her advisor. Elena was sharp-minded and kind, someone who treated Grace's anxieties with patience instead of skepticism. She listened carefully as Grace spilled everything. Elena nodded slowly. You aren't crazy, she said with an unusual intensity. Something is targeting you. I think I know who can help. That night Elena drove her far out of town, deep into the countryside. The sky was moonless and enormous. The road narrowed until only forest surrounded them. Grace clutched her seatbelt, her heartbeat loud. They stopped at an abandoned chapel, swallowed by vines. Elena turned off the car. This place is older than Christianity here, she said. This land had its own gods. Your father tried to force his own version of holiness into you. He ignored what already listened. Grace frowned. What do you mean listened? Elena's eyes looked strangely feverish. You survived by staying silent. Something ancient heard that silence. It thinks you belong to it. Grace backed away from her. I don't belong to anything. Elena stepped closer. You do now. Her smile stretched too wide. It chose you. A rustle sounded behind Grace. She spun around. Figures emerged from the trees. Hooded. Silent. Carrying ropes. Elena didn't stop them. You will save us all, she whispered. Grace struggled as rough hands seized her arms. They dragged her into the chapel. The door slammed shut behind them. The air smelled like damp stone and something metallic. Candles flared to life on their own. The hooded people formed a circle around her. Elena stood at the front, chanting in a language that sounded like thousand-year-old screams. The symbols carved into the floor glowed a sickly gold. Grace's pulse raced. "You are the vessel," Elena intoned. "Grace Alden, child of silence, bride of ascendance." Grace felt the ground tremble beneath her. The air thickened with pressure. The light dimmed until the only brightness came from the symbols. Then a voice echoed inside her skull. "Not her father. Not Elena. Not human. You suffered in silence. You were faithful to pain. I honor devotion." Grace fell to her knees. The voice filled her bones. "Speak my name and ascend." She shook her head violently. "No, I won't serve you. I won't serve anyone." The figure behind the voice stepped out of the darkness. Winged shadows spread across the walls. Its face was smooth, featureless, like a marble statue in motion. It radiated coldness, beauty, and terror. Elena cried out, desperate. "She is your chosen. Accept her." Grace stared at the creature. She had spent years thinking monsters only existed in stories. Now one stood inches away. She whispered at first, then louder. Then she shouted, "I choose me." Light exploded. The symbol shattered. Candles died. The hooded figures screamed as invisible force hurled them against the walls. Elena tried to run. Grace grabbed her arm. "Why me?" Grace asked through clenched teeth. Elena's eyes widened in pure terror. "Because you were the only one strong enough to say no." The creature reeled back as if those words burned it. Grace stood taller, rage filling every fracture trauma ever caused. "You don't own me." Her voice reverberated like thunder inside the chapel. The creature shrieked, wings dissolving into smoke. Its body crumbled like dust soaked in moonlight. One more echo of its voice lingered. "Fall for Grace. Rise as your own god." Then silence. The hooded cult members scrambled out the doors, abandoning their cause. Elena collapsed to her knees, broken. She stared up at Grace, horrified and awed. "Where are you now?" she whispered. Grace breathed slowly. The air obeyed her. The candle flames flickered toward her like worshippers. She felt power, not given but taken. Hard-earned, uninvited. "I'm still Grace," she said, "just finally free." She walked out into the night, leaving the ruins and her captors behind. The stars looked different, as if they bowed. No more silence. Grace would never hide again. And anything dark that dared follow her, she would make it fear her name.